let's talk about draft night, bro. Obviously, like the retro freshman season didn't end up the way that you wanted to. You guys ended up losing to Rhode Island. You go through the whole draft process. You kind of dip your toe in the water at first. You weren't sure if you're gonna go, come back, and then you make the decision to leave. You end up getting picked up number 17th overall, if I'm not mistaken, right? 16th. My bad. Hey, let me put some respect on your name. 16th. That's on me. Hey, that's on me. Personal foul number 12. Bro, what was that feeling finally, reaching your goal, achieving your goal of getting drafted into the NBA?
It was crazy, and let me put this in there. I knew I was leaving as soon as Maurice got hurt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just because you see how fast things can change, and you see how fast like how fast it can go, like with injuries and stuff like that. So I knew I was leaving. It was a matter of people like trying to convince me to come back at that point. But
Mm-hmm.
draft night was a crazy time, and one of my biggest regrets through this whole process, probably up until about 2 years ago, is I didn't really value how good it was in the moment. I didn't really value where I was. I didn't really, because I was there off natural given talent. I was there off of
Mm-hmm.
having fun and just doing what I do. Like it wasn't really anything I had to put in extra with. I love basketball. I was obviously hooping a lot, but as far as like the being a professional thing goes, I never really learned that. So like it was crazy draft night. But one of the biggest things I learned like from that process is like people came in more ready than me. Like people came in expecting like that they had to fight for certain things, had to grow up in certain ways, and I was just still the same college kid trying to have fun and still just hooping, having fun, not realizing how much work you had to put in.
So would you say the business of basketball is something that you definitely had to learn as far as like you just said, like being a pro every day, showing up, fighting for your job?
Yeah, for sure. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
once you like, like if I would have stayed there after like and that's why I realized that I probably wouldn't have been successful as like you would have been or anybody else would have been at Creighton, just because I would have showed up that next year, that next summer, and like expected my position and expected this, that, and other, and that's how I showed up in the NBA. Like I expected certain things to happen just because of what I achieved. And that's just that's not the case. And that's what I figured out. You got to work for everything, and most times it's not even about talent. It's about timing. It's about punctuation and how you are as a human being off the court. So those are things I had to grow up and realize.
You've had such a crazy start to your NBA career, bro. Like from getting drafted to getting traded and getting traded again, a couple of different G League stints. And then now you finally worked your way back up. Like I said, you had a game last night in the NBA. You're in Cleveland right now, obviously playing the Cavaliers soon. So, uh, what is it about this time around having this opportunity that is going to be different for Justin Patton?
Um, just piggybacking off of what I was talking, just worth ethic and realizing the little things that I have to do. And it's shown like just in this last year, just doing little things, getting sleep, working out 3 times a day, getting my diet right, and even like spiritually, believing in something to where I don't have to rely on anything that has no substance. I can rely on things that have substance. Like I'm a big like my faith has grown a lot, and even just reading and growing my mind has grown a lot. So things like that, to where I can actually build substance within myself and have a foundation to fall on, to where if anything goes wrong, I can fall back on that foundation.
So I need to ask you about this because I think you were in Minnesota the time the infamous Jimmy Butler practice. I believe that you were on that team. Bro, this is one of my favorite stories of all time in the NBA. Like literally, this is a top five story for me. So you were actually a part of that. I kind of want to know your perspective of what actually happened that day, what was going on. We heard the whole
Um,
story about Jimmy Butler getting the practice players and beating the starting five, whatever. But I want to hear from your perspective since you were in the gym.
Bro, it was crazy. I might be saying too much, but it's over and it's in the
Hey,
past.
I don't need you to throw anybody under the bus, bro. I just want to know like what you were thinking. Yeah.
Bro, it was a crazy time. Obviously I was one of those guys in that lower half, but I was injured at the time. And Jimmy, like
Mhm.
from the jump, like my first day in Minnesota, he took me to dinner. He took me under his wing, and he like had me as his little brother, and still to this day. So when all that stuff is happening, first of all, Jimmy, the media can be you're one of the good guys in the media, and I believe that you will continue to be one of the good guys in the media, but the media can put a image on you that's not you.
Yeah.
Jimmy every day was one of those guys who just wanted everybody to be better. And he led by example. He will be there at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., getting work in, this, that, and other. He was a great guy, but that starting off on that day, bro, we go into practice, and it's like a regular practice, but we've been losing a little bit, and we know something's about to happen. And Jimmy just comes in and just says, like, yo, we about to play. Y'all score. I mean, y'all score the baskets, and I'm gonna y'all play hard, and I'm gonna play hard too. I'm gonna lock up everybody up. But he literally guarded everybody and locked them up. And that team, that green team, the third team, won every single game. The most I think the other team scored was like going to 11, probably scored like 4 or 5. And he was just a dog. He didn't score at all. He didn't score one bucket. Like, he was just locking everybody and talking stuff. Like, he was looking at me. I got my foot up on a chair. Like, he was saying, like, yeah, this is what I fucking do. Like, this is that. Like,
yeah.
Hey, that's guys, like, we want to see guys actually talk. And he came in there and he did what he said he was gonna do. So it was amazing. It was one of those things, like, when you watch like The Last Chance for with the Jordan documentary, it was one of those feelings, like when I look at that documentary and look at Jimmy and what he did. So it was crazy.
It's crazy, like you mentioned, like the media could kind of put a spin on the person, and it's hard to like deviate from that. Obviously, Jimmy Butler has been one of those guys. I've heard it from you. I've heard it from Doug, because Doug was his teammate in Chicago too. And like you just said, like to this day, you guys obviously still talk every once in a while. Doug has the same thing to say about him. It's like, once you're on Jimmy's good side, like you guys are boys for life. Like, he's good. He'll invite you out to places. He'll take you out to eat, like he said. So yeah, man, it's ridiculous sometimes. And I think, but now obviously with his final run last year with the Miami Heat, he's kind of being vindicated a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that people always love to see is like, people never believe anything in the moment, but he validated that by bringing his culture. Like, anytime when somebody steps up and tries to be something, or they're standing on what they know, new things are always like hard to accept. But and it was hard to accept in that situation. But he took that same mentality and he brought it to another situation, and it worked. So I think that just validated a whole lot of things that he was trying to get validated. So I think that worked out for him. And congratulations to Miami. I know everybody on that team loved Jimmy. I know that whole staff loved Jimmy, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.